Hello guys, hello. Just write in the chat if I'm audible, my voice is clear, my video is clear. Yeah. Hello everyone. Back again with our third day of the boot camp. Okay. So just confirm it first if I'm audible, everything is clear, sorted out, so that we can begin our session. Yeah. Guys, first clear, all clear, great. This is what I wanted to listen. All clear, then sure. Yeah. Rest of you, is everything all clear? All well, good. Ready for the next session today? Okay, guys. Till last session, what I remember is we completed till the footer part, header part. So the header was not yet done. We were managing the responsive size window. Okay. So we left it out in the middle, right there. So let's complete that part first. Then we will get to know what next thing we have to do. Okay. So our first goal is to complete the header part first. We have to make it responsive. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so we will be making the part responsive first. Once that is done, then I will tell you what all next thing we will be doing. Okay, yeah. So if you permit me, if you are all ready, so we will now move to that part back again. Okay, so let's get into the source. Let's get into the component, and we were working in header section. Okay, okay, guys, should we move? Yeah, good evening, Priyanka. Good evening, all. Hello, all. Okay. Yeah. Everyone just respond in the chat. Are you all ready for today? Ready? Yes, yes. Great. Yeah. Yeah, you do not need to write present right now. You will get the attendance form shortly in some movement. Okay. Yeah, so in previous session, what we did is we did not work much in the previous session. We were trying to build the header section, just the UI part. In that, we were just done till the large size window and medium size window. So we were working on making this for the small size window too. So we will continue from that part. Okay. So if you missed the last session, no need to worry about. So most of the work will be done in today's session. Okay. Yeah. So in last session, I defined this const toggle menu. So this will be updating your state for opening and closing the toggle. Okay. So we were done till this point. We defined our button and we have to continue from this point. Now, what I am trying to do is I am trying to make a hamburger menu. Okay, I hope so you know what is hamburger menu. This is too big. Just a moment. Let me have a list of it. Yeah. So this is too less. Yeah. So you have seen in many mobiles as Windows that you have this mobile size, you have icons, you have different things, and you have a small hamburger size thing button. Okay. Yeah, three knives or whatever you want to call it. Or else we sometimes have three dots also. So what does it do is you have in a bigger size window, what you can do is you have your logo and you can have your links side by side because you have a larger window. But in mobile size, you can't do so. In that case, you will have overlapping or like it will overflow. So to manage that, what we do is we add a hamburger kind of thing and we add a link this way. Okay. Suppose this is the logo, this was the header, this is the logo, and these two are the links. So whenever the user wants, he or she can open or close the hamburger logo. Okay. So it's just upon the user. Either he or she can open or he or she can close it up. If they do not want, they can close it up. No issue with that. Okay. So that is what this menu will be doing. So we were working on that. So let's get back to this. Okay. Yeah, so in buttons, we have to add one small thing that will be X cross and menu thing. Okay. And it is a kind of like font only, not font, icon. So we will be using that icon from Lucid React. So in last class, I think so we used Lucid React somewhere, and no, we did not use Lucid React. So what we will do first is we will be importing Lucid React. So what Lucid React will be doing is we in Lucid React package we have all icons. Okay, so whatever icons you want, whatever like icons want, you can take it up from the Lucid React. So we will be using two important things that will be menu import menu comma x from Lucid React. L will be small, so take care of the type. Okay. So what we did is we imported menu and x from Lucid React. Okay. So now we have to render this and show it inside the button. Now, one more important thing is, okay, that is if your links are open. Suppose that if your links are open, this is the header, these are your links. Suppose if your links are open, in that case, we have to show cross button. If your links are closed, in that case, we have to show the hamburger button. Okay, so this is the difference. So to manage this, we have to use the user state in this case also. So we have already defined that user state. So we will be using the same user state in this case also. Okay, so let's get into that. So yeah, so we have defined it as use open. Okay, so the same state that we defined over here, use is open. So we will be using same state to render this. So is open, and now we are using ternary operator. We studied what ternary operator is in the first lecture. Okay, conditional rendering. It was part of conditional rendering. So now is open, then question mark, and then we will be rendering our x. Okay, and we will give our x size of around, let's give it as 18 pixels, and then we are closing our x. Okay, now again, next thing that we will be rendering is menu. I will explain you how this will get rendered on based upon the conditions. Okay, don't worry about that. And again, the size will be given as 18. Okay, well and good. Yeah. So close this and we are good to go. Yeah. So are we able to see that hamburger or not? Just wait. It's rebuilding it up. So we'll see it shortly. Before that, let me explain you how this will work. Okay. So let's add this up over here in your notes. You will be getting your notes shortly after the session. Yeah. Okay. So what will happen is, first of all, the thing is we have already defined is open. So is open is already defined. If is open is true, if is open is true, it means your nav links are open. Okay. Nav link is open. So if this is the condition, in that case, we will be showing the cross button. Okay. If this is the case, in that case, we'll be showing the cross button. If in a case, if your is open is false, it means your nav link is false. In that case, we will be showing the menu button. That is burger menu. What? Okay. That will be shown on the screen. So two cases, one is true, another one is false. So is open is true. In that case, cross button. Is open is false. In that case, menu button will be shown. Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Just move forward with the hello and let's begin with the code, right? Yeah, so let's refresh it. Why is it taking much time? Yeah, so let's move till it's building up. Let's move to the next thing that we have is, yeah. So after that, we are done with the button thing. We are done with that. Now we have to design the menu. So let's design the mobile menu or a mobile nav links. Okay. So define a div. We are defining a div. Inside that div, we'll be working up, give a class name. Yeah, give a class name. Okay. Yeah, before moving forward, let's see. See, you can see the menu. Yeah, this hamburger. Now, there's nothing, no text right here, so we are not having any compressible, incompressible size window. Okay. So there's one more thing that is tracer, and this menu is too close. So I think so we have to change some property, and that property will be justify items center, justify between customer, and refresh it up. Yeah. So items will be center itself. We have to justify in between, and this will be resolved. Okay, no issue with that. Now, so we were designing the mobile enabling. So let's get back to that. So again, in this case also, we have to check one thing: if the condition of is open, true or false. Okay. So if the condition of is open is false, suppose that if the condition of is open is false, in that case, we do not need to open the window. We do not need to open. Okay. So if the condition is false. So before starting the nav link, what we have to do is we have to add a condition. Condition of what? Condition that checks if is open is true or not. Okay. So for that, we will be writing it up here. So it will be is open, and then and add the step inside this one. Okay. And move the step forward and add. Sorry, it will be add. Okay, so this what the statement will do. The statement will simply check if is open is true. If that is true, in that case only this part will be visible. If is open is initialized as false, in that case it is not going to be visible. Okay, so we do not want the like lower menu to be shown every time. We want only when the user wants. That's why we are doing this. Okay. Yeah, great. So let's write next thing, that is medium hidden. Now again, we do not want this window size to be shown on larger window sizes, like on tab view or else desktop view. So that is why we are having medium hidden. Then we will be having our padding as 4, and then we will have our border as 3. Okay, this was your outer div. Let's get to our inner div again. Inner div. This will be DIV, not DUV. Okay. Yeah, great. So next, again, we will be giving our styling in the class name. Okay. Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening, not good afternoon. Great to see your enthusiasm that you forget the time if it is good afternoon or good evening. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's get back here. So it will be flex column. Okay. Flex, flex, column. Okay. Now, why are we using column? Let's get to see that. Before, our links was in a row-wise configuration in case of larger windows. Okay. In case of our larger windows, we were having a row-wise configuration, but now we want a column-wise configuration. So for column-wise configuration, we want it in this way. So for that, we have to use flex column, flex, and then give a hyphen, and we write a column. So this defines a flex in column, not in row. If you just write flex, in that case, it will define flex in a row, not in column. So to define flex in column, you have to specifically write flex column. Okay. Yeah. So we wrote it's a flex column, and then we want to give a space in X. No, not in a space in X, space in Y. Why? Because we are working at column, not in a row. So space Y will be given around 8 pixels. I think so that will work. If that does not work, we will increase it. Okay. So now next is our map function. So again, what was the object name? Link. Link was the object name. So we will be writing link dot map. Inside that map, define our items and index. Okay. Items and index are defined in the map, and then we'll move forward to the UI part again. And yeah. Okay. So our map is defined right here. So what we are mapping? We are mapping link by using items, and index will be our key. Okay, so we'll be giving key as the index. Okay, everyone got the point till this area. Everyone is clear till this point what we are trying to do and what we have done till this point. Everyone just respond fast. Okay, yes, no, not good, whatever you want to say. Yeah, the present thing will be taken afterwards. Attendance will be taken. You will get the Google form to mark your attendance. Okay, you can do it at that point. Let's focus on the session first. Okay. Yeah, great. Yes, yes, great, great. Not yet. Yeah, sure. What did you not got yet? Just come specific if there is some doubt. Just what is the topic that you are getting stuck? Explain mobile nav code. Yeah, we are writing the mobile nav code right now. So explanation is going on. If you do not understand, I will explain you shortly. See, what we are doing is we were starting for the mobile nav right here. Okay. So first of all, to open and close the mobile nav, what we are doing is we are creating a button that will control its opening and closing. Okay. Once we are clear with if it is open, if it is not open, then over here we are starting with checking if it is open. So open means is open should be initialized to true. If it is true, okay, so in that case, we will be showing this part, or else if it is false, we will not be showing this part. How do I link front end and back end using React and Node.js? Yeah, so if you are using React and Node.js separately, so create one front end folder, second back end folder. In back end, by using Node, you create all your services and then you create API for all your services. Okay, so whatever you want to render or whatever you want, if you're using database, API, or everything Yeah. Hello guys. Sorry for the small glitch that we got right here due to failure of network. Okay. I know it's not good thing in the live sessions, but yeah, sometimes Wi-Fi got this stuff. Yeah. Am I audible now? Great, great. I see you having a small quiz in the chat. Great. Inside which HTML element do we put the JavaScript? Okay, script tag. Okay. No, we do not put it in a body tag. Body tag is not a correct answer. It should be the script tag. Okay, so let's begin back where we left it out. Yeah. Yeah, so we were trying to implement this map function. So let's begin from that point. Is my screen visible now? Everyone, can you just respond if my screen is visible? I have shared it, right? Yeah, I've shared it. Yeah, yeah, great, great. So, yeah, so let's pick it up from where we left it out. So now, inside this map function, we will be using our link. I think so. I have defined the link beforehand, so it's great. So just define the link tag, and we will be using this link tag. We'll be writing all of the component in this link tag. Why link? Because we are having a nav bar links that we are dealing with. So that's why we will be using our link tag over here. So link, we have two things to manage. One is when we click on that button where it should go to. Another thing is key. Okay. So we will be adding our key as index. We have already written index, and then second will be 2. Okay, so when we click on the link tag where it should go to. So 2 will be our link dot. Now, what is the name of the path that we're given is path itself. So it will be link dot path. Okay, link dot path. Yeah. Now next comes our styling. So we will again define a class name and inside that we'll style. And before that, what will be the name that will get displayed will be items. Sorry, it will be items dot name. Okay, we have defined it with name, right? We have defined it with name, so it will be items dot name. Okay, great. Got till this point, then we will be styling it up little bit. So we will be giving a text color, font, transition, and all different things. So let's give our text color, or else we can give the text size also. So we are keeping the text as small, and then we will be giving our text color of, normally it will be gray, but we want to give color in case of a hover. So we will be giving text orange 600, but only when we hover over that text. So it will be hover, and then comes our font that will be close to bold, or else you can also use the medium thing. So let's see how the bold will look like. Once we see that, then we can check the medium. Okay, we can see it now. So bold is too much. We should work with medium. Okay, we are working with medium. Okay, then on hover, we are getting orange, and we will just add a transition color. Transition color. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we are done till this point. As you can see, the spacing between these are too much. We will go to 4. Yeah, now I think so. It looks better. Okay, live score, schedule, team, stats, and news. Okay, so once you press on the cross button, you will get it closed. Yeah. Okay, guys, done till this point. Got the point. Got the hinge of what we were trying to do. Okay. Got it or not? Just respond in the chat. Is there anything that you missed out? Anything that you think like you did not got point of anything? Yeah, if you're good to go, if you have understood this all thing of the header thing, then you can just write yes, sir, it's all you got it, yes, no, whatever you want, so that I can understand that you were clear. Got it, great, great, got it. Great, frame, great. Okay. Okay, guys. So this was all of the header part. Okay. This was all of just the header part. We have many part to build now. Okay. So we are done with the responsiveness and everything in the header. Now let's get to see what we will be doing next. Okay. So after header, what we have is our hero section. So we have to build our hero section. In hero section, we also have to build one small thing that is our button component. So normally if we want, we can add a button code inside the hero section, but what we want is we want to keep it, keep the button component separate so that we can reuse it every time we want. So we do not want to write those 5, 6 lines of code again and again, again and again. So that's why what we are doing is we are creating a whole component of button that we will be reusing many different pages. Okay. So first, what we will do is we will build this button component. After we are built with a button component, we will go with hero section. So repeat from line 51. Okay, you want me to repeat from line 51. So I will give you a brief overview of line 51. So see, first thing that we are doing in line 51 is checking if we need to open the nav link or not, if the user wants to open or not. Okay. So suppose right now I click on the hamburger menu. So now in this case, I know the is open is initialized as true. It means the user wants to open the links. Okay. So first of all, I am checking it up. If is open is false, in that case, I will not be showing this all menus. Okay. So once we are done with that, what is the next step that we are doing is we are mapping all the components of link. Okay, link, we have defined it over here. Here is the link. So we are mapping all the components of the link. Okay, great. So by using map tag, we are using we are mapping all the components, and in the link tag, we are defining two, three things. One is key. Key is just a special primary key. Okay. Here we have index. If you define ID over here, in that case, it will be ID. And then two, so to which path it should navigate. Okay, that's the next thing. And then the main thing is the name that you want to show it on the screen. Okay, so that is it in the mobile size window for the navix. Okay, got it? Yeah, Piyush, got it or not? Okay, if you do not get, then respond in the chat. Okay, we'll move forward till then. Got it? Okay. So yeah, so we will be working with the button component first, and then we'll make the hero page, and then we have to see the router. Okay, we have to define and see how we define a route inside a React router in a React. And once we are done with this, we will try making our footer 2 today. Okay, I'm trying to complete whatever front-end part that we have, mostly front-end part today. Okay, we will be working with the footer part. And if we are done with this also, then we'll start our API integration part. Okay, we will start with the points table integration. I will show you what response we are getting and how to manage that response and show it on the front end. Okay, that's what we are planning to do. Till this point, for sure, we will be completing. If we complete till this point on time, then we'll shift to this one. Okay. Yeah. So let's begin with our button thing that I told you. So for that, what we will be doing is we are trying to create one more folder named as UI. So this will contain all the reusable components. Okay. So every component that we want to reuse. So for now, we just have button. So we'll name it as button.js. Okay. So this is new thing that I'm going to tell you. There is new packages that we will be using in this case. So the first package that I want to explain to you is our CVA. Okay, so CVA is popularly known as Class Variance Authority. Okay, so Variance Authority is an NPM package that is used for creating your own classes. Okay, your own classes for styling. I'll write it up here so that you cannot miss it out. Yeah, so it is Class Variance Authority, CVA. Okay, so this is used for creating reusable components or else reusable classes for styling. Okay, I will write it here. What is it used for? Reusable stylings or else classes. So in Tailwinds, we are using classes for styling. So same way, we will be using Tailwind, but by using that Tailwind, we will be creating stylings and classes that could be reused, or else the combination of many styles inside one. That is what we are trying to do over here. Okay, in CVA. Yeah, got a point of it? Like understood what we are trying to do over here? Okay, so let's begin. So once we are done with the button, we will not be seeing the output of it. We will see the output of button component inside the hero section. Okay, so we will see it over there. So we are coding it right now, but we will not see the output. Just give me some moment, just have some patience, and we will see it soon. Okay. Yeah. So what's the first thing that we have to define is we have to define a variable. Yeah, so let me show you how to do that. So you can define a const CVA or else whatever name you want to give. I want to give it as button variants, and we will define one or two button variants in this. So cost button variant is equals to, we will be defining CVA, the package that we imported. Okay. Yeah. Once we are done with this, okay. If your laptop is getting off, please have a charger with you. Yeah. So we will be having some predefined classes. This is not the main thing to worry about. The main thing is the variant that we will be defining it. So inside this, this will be a small tailwind classes. This is normal, you can understand. The main thing comes here. So here we will be defining a variant. Okay, variants. So where is variant? Yeah, not here. Give a comma. Start from here. Invariants. Invariants, we will inside a variance, we will again define, yeah, the brackets. 1 minute, the brackets should not be this one. Yeah, brackets should be curly braces. Okay, inside a variant, we will again define one more thing, that is a variant. You can define whatever names you want. They are not specific names. Okay, these are user defined names. So if you want to name it as your own name, it's upon you. You are free to go. Just the matter is you should write the classes right. Yeah. So in variants, we will be defining two things. One is primary, another one is outline, because these are the two things that we will require in our hero section. So that's two things that we are going to define. Okay. So let's start with the primary. Okay. So we will be writing primary and then we will start the class definition. So this will contain all the CSS classes that we need. So it will be background orange 600 because I want my button to have a background of 600, orange 600, and my text inside that button should be text white. Okay, and however, what I want is my background should get to background orange 700. Okay, background orange 700. That is what I want on a hover, and then we should have a shadow. Okay, in case of fabric. Then comes our outline. I want to define one more with the name of outline or else inline outline, whatever you want to give it as. Then comes over here, we will see what outline means. I think you might get confused. So normally if you have a button, suppose you have a button, you have background colors inside that. Okay. But in case of some outlines, what we have is we have a button, we just have colors on outlines, on borders. Okay. Not on inside the buttons. So that is why we call it as outlines. Okay. Color only on outlines. So that's why we are giving this name outlines. Okay. Yeah, so in outlines, we have to, what we have to define is we will be giving our border. So give our border, then again we have to give our border and the background should be same as the normal background. So background should be your BG. Yeah, sorry, BG background, not background BG. BG background, that's done. And the next thing that we have is again we defined hover in the previous button case. Okay, we will be defining our hover in this case also. So hover background ascent. Just wait a minute. Let me write this classes and then I will define what variant means. Okay, I already told variant means. Just give me a moment. Okay, hover ascent and then again the hover for text, hover text ascent and hover text ascent foreground. Foreground. Okay, so this is for the outline. Okay, okay, you wanted to understand what variant is. Let me explain to you. So you would be knowing we have variants and diseases. So suppose we have disease A, and disease A has three variants: first variant, second variant, and third variant. So these three variants all are diseases, or else we can, if we talk about fevers, so this all three are fever, a type of fever, but they all differ in some of their property. Either in first case you might get a high temperature, and in second case you might get a cough. In third case you might get a body pain. Okay, so these three all are fever, but they all differ in some properties. In same way, when we have buttons, so we have different buttons based on their styling. Based on their styling. So to address that, we are creating all different types of variants, all different types of stylings that we need. Okay. So it is all different types of styling that we are going to need in our website. That's why we are naming it as variants or types. Okay. Got it. Everything explained. Yeah, guys, respond in the chat if it is clear or not. Yeah. Please explain variants. Variant is explained here. Okay, great. Okay. So what next is? Yeah. Ascent means so ascent will see. I have given background ascent. So ascent is the background based upon the theme, already existing theme of the page. Okay. So it is not any defined color or anything. It is just based upon the predefined theme of that page that you have given. Okay. So that is just the meaning of ascent. Yeah, so we are done with the variant and now we have to give size. So we told the button what it should look like, what the text in the button should look like, how should it respond to hover, and we told what should be the background. Now we want to tell the button the size, what size you should be of. So we will define that too. Okay. So over here we will define size. First of all, we will start with the default thing. Okay, so once we are done with the default, then we'll define small, large, and icon we do not need. We'll be working with small, large, and default. So let's give it a height of 10 pixels. Okay, so this is the default one. So if a user is importing if a user is importing button and he or she is not giving the size of the button, in that case, this default one will come out. Okay, so we have padding X of 4 pixels and padding Y of 2 pixels. Okay, padding X, padding Y is given, and then we have our text size as small. So this is the default, and then we'll be defining our small size window. So mostly, whenever we will be importing this button, we will be using the default size because in a bigger size window, we will have a default best. So the height in this case will be given as 8 pixels. After the height is given, we will have our padding X as 3 pixels, 3 pixels, padding X is 3, and then in this case, we will be having text as extra small. If you want, you can give the text size in the pixels also. It's your free will, but extra size, extra small is just your predefined size. It can work well. So once we are done with the small, we have to define the large. So again, large screen will be having 12 of height, and then again we will have to define padding X and padding Y. So padding X will be 8 pixels. Padding Y will be maintained by flex. No need to specify that. And text is given base. If you want, you can give it as 18 pixels or 20 pixels, but we are using base over here. Okay. So this is what we have defined. So one more thing we can define, that is icon. So this will be only used for icons being used inside a button. So this three will be used when we are having text inside a button. But when we are having an icon inside a button, then we will use this property. Okay. Yeah. So it will just have a height and width, nothing else because we are not using a text. So height will be 9 pixels and width also we are giving it as 9 pixels. Okay. So we are done with the variant. We are done with the icon. So we are done with two things. Sorry, variant and size, not icon. So we are done with these two things. And now one more thing is remaining. That is, we will be defining our default variant. So inside variant, we defined two types of variant, but now we also want a defined default variant. So this variant will be shown if we are not passing any other variants. So let's complete this up also. Okay. Just a moment. Size default. Let's write it over here. Default variant. Yeah. Okay, you got the point what I'm talking to. Like what I'm trying to explain is we will be using this default variant when we are not clear with what type of variant we want to render. Okay. In that case, only we will be using this variant. Just a minute. Focus. Yeah, so default variant, and then we are ready to go with this variant. I think so. We have missed any bracket. Is there any bracket closing that we have missed? Yeah, one is this one. So before variant two, we have to define one curly braces. We missed that. So we'll just quickly define that, or else you might get a error flashing on your screen, and you would not like that. So we will define not outside bracket, inside bracket. We will be defining a variant, and that variant will be primary. So we already defined what primary is. Okay, I can show you. We defined what primary is over here. So our variant should be primary and our size. What size you want to be default, you can define it as your choice. We will go with the default. Okay. Yeah. Till this point, is everything clear? What we were trying to do, what we did, and how we did. Is everything clear or not? Just respond me in the chat. Yes, no. If something is getting stuck or your system, just write in the chat that I'm not clear with this. Whatever you want to ask. Okay. Yeah, guys. Yes, no. Not getting what I'm trying to explain. Anything? Yes, clear. Yeah, you will get the attendance list shortly. Yeah, Piyush, what is not clear, Piyush? You can just tell me what is the thing that you are not understanding. Let's try that. Okay, so we get this. Yeah, Piyush, come first. What's the thing that you are not clear of? So the app icon and the new code. What is the relation between app icon and the new code? How it is linked? See, the app icon is not linked with this code. The app icon is different. App icon code is over here inside the component. Okay, if I show you in the header thing over here, we have that app icon over here. So we have defined it from the scratch. We are not importing it over there from there. This is totally separate. Okay, we haven't used the icon that we defined here anywhere. If we use, I will inform you at that point. We are just defining it right now. The app icon is totally separate from this. Don't like take it as combined. Okay. Yeah, guys, got this. Okay. Yeah, great. So let's move forward. Now we have defined this. So same case, we have to return this. Without returning, we can't use it. Okay, so we will be writing post button. Now, this is something different kind of class I am trying to define. So before I was writing the export default function and then the function name. So now here what I am trying to do is I am creating a const button and then I will be working with it inside this bracket. Now we will be writing something children. So children will be the prop or else will be the condition that will be transferred while importing this button, and then we have to use our variant. Okay, what variant you want? By default, whatever you want to keep, you can keep. So for now, I'm keeping it as primary, but when I call, I will change it up. After variant comes our size. Okay, size in size 2. If you want to give default, give default. Okay, after size, what comes? We have our class name. We have our class name. So class name will be purely based upon the sender's request, and we can close it up by writing dot 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 props. Okay. So once we are done with this, yeah. So once we are done with this, what we have to do is a small change, just a small change. So how you write the bracket one side another, that is also important. Okay, because of that too, you will get a error. So as you can see, I like replaced each other. I wrote the curly braces outside and the small braces inside. So remember this. Sometimes this will also throw error. So yeah. So now we have to return this up. We are done with the code. Now we will return this whole component. Okay, so we will be writing a return. No, brother, write it inside, not outside. We will be writing return and then we'll be defining our button because this whole thing is inside a button. So button, our button is defined. Great. Now, everything that we wrote right now will be a part of your will be part of your class name. Okay, this is not separate. This is all part of your class name. So based upon that, we will do some changes. Just give me a moment. So in this, we will be using one more important thing is dollar signs and other things. Yeah. Okay. So this all classes will get rendered inside your button class. Okay. So whatever classes you define based upon the user's discretion, this all will be rendered inside your class. Okay. Yeah. See, this is the important code that I just brought in now. So what is it? So inside a class name, what we have to define is we have to define asterisk, whatever we call asterisk, this symbol. So normally we have inverted commas, okay? So we have asterisk something like this. You would get down to your escape button. We have to define that. Okay, so inside that we'll be writing button variant. Inside that we will be writing button variants. So button variants will be what we return by the user. So this will we will get this from the user. Yeah. Okay. So whatever variant, whatever size we get from the user, we will be using that up. Once we get this, we will move forward. Okay, everyone, is it clear till this point or not? Okay, just respond in the chat if things are clear. I know this the class name that I just wrote might be confusing you. Okay, we'll get to that too. Yeah, so this all will be inside one process. Okay, clear, clear. Yeah, great. So one last thing that we have is we have to write props in curly braces. Props. Okay, great. We are done with the props, and after this, we will have to write a children, and we close it up. Okay, yeah. Now we are done with everything. Only thing that we are missing is returning this function. We have created this function. We have done everything. If we does not return, yeah. So we have done this whole thing. Now we have one last thing that we need to do is return this function. So for returning this, normally we were using export default function name. So here also we will be using export default and the function name is your button. So the button we will be using button. Yeah, export default button. So with this, we are done with the button component. Our button component is done finally over. Okay, everyone, all clear till this point or not? Everything clear to this point? Yeah, guys, like this is all small doubts how you will work on the project if you do not have laptop and all. We can take care of this later. I think so. You should focus on the session first, okay? So the code once, sure. This is the code. Yeah, just wait for some time when we are working with the hero section. In that, we'll be importing this button, and I will show you how this will look like. If you want to see, no problem. I will show you directly in the code. Okay, just have patience. We'll complete the hero section also, and then we can see the code output over there for the button section too. Let's close this up first. We do not need this. From line 26, not clear at the end of code, not clear. Line 26. Okay. So before that, we defined all the classes inside this function const button. What we are trying to do is we are trying to take the preference of the user. So this is the function that will take the preference of the user. If user wants a primary button or outline button, if user wants size as default or size as small, okay, everything will be taken care by this thing. Yeah. So just a moment. Yeah. So everything will be taken care by this function. Okay. So this function is taking this all the things like variant and then size and then class name as a props, as a form of props. Okay. So once it gets this prop, what we are trying to do is we are trying to add that up inside this button tag. Okay, we are binding this all class name that we are getting from the user, and based upon that class names, based upon the defined names in the variant, we are matching it up and we are showing those stylings. Okay, so just it's work of props. We are getting the props and then we are rendering it up on the screen. Okay. Yeah, Piyush, the live score part, we'll take care of it soon. Okay. By based upon the API, the live scores will get updated. The thing is, we can add the auto updation at a certain interval, which we'll see that. Okay, so done with this part. Should we move forward to our hero section? Children class name prop using. Yeah, so we are using this for getting the props from the user. Okay, we are using this part to get the props. Props, what is prop? The class name. Just wait for a moment. When I import this, I'm going to show you clearly how to do this. Okay. Okay, guys, let's move to our hero.js part. Okay, let's begin this part now. So we can export default function hero. Okay, we have defined our hero. We will return this up. We will define a div inside a hero, and then we will start our work inside this hero section. Okay. Just a minute. What's the issue? The issue is with the name. Let's rename it up. Let's keep it capital H and then rename it. Okay, great. So let's begin our hero section. In hero section, we might use some framer motions. So for that, we have to install the framer motion first. So let's search for framer motion here. Are you able to see my dependency list? No, just a minute. I will change the configuration. We will make it to the right. Yeah, I think so. You can see the dependency list now on the screen. Yeah, you can. So we are taking up this. Do not move the dependency list up. Just yeah, yeah. So we want framer motion to be installed. So in the dependency, we search for the framer motion and we install it up. It's getting installed. Till then, let's write our import statement. Import in bracket. What we want is motion, or else we can write it as framer motion. Import motion from framer motion from framer motion. Yeah, so we are done with this import. We might need some more thing to be imported, and that is our use navigation. We might need this use navigation from where React router not DOM, React router DOM, or a React router DOM, whatever you want to pronounce it as. Okay. So we imported two packages. One is motion from Flavor Motion, and another one is use navigation. Okay. Guys, relax, have some patience. You will surely get attendance. The session is of 1.5 hours around. So wait for the attendance. Okay. Import. Now next, we also want to import the button that we created. So we will import that button to from. So let's get one folder back because we have our UI in separate folder. Okay. We got one folder back, then UI, and then it will be named as button. But okay, we have imported our button two from our UI button. In some moment, you will get this red line removed. I think so. It's not able to render it properly. That's why you are getting it. It's not an error. I think you have uh, we did it right. Yeah, it's right. Okay, we can also do one thing. We can move this all UI inside a component, so it will be much more easier to render in that case. So we will just need one dot, and we will be able to. Okay, till it's resolving the issue, no problem. We can move forward, and we'll define our first div. Okay, we have already defined it. So first div is done. Remove the semicolon. Give the small braces. Bring the div down, and let's start with class name. Class name is equals to, we will be defining a class name now. It should be import button from, okay, yeah, a small mistake of English can also be everything for you. So it should be from, not form. Just check it out. Okay. So yeah, relative, first of all, we'll be defining it as relative to the header. We want our header to be sticky. For that, we need to define all these sections as relative. Okay, not absolute, relative. And then I do not want my overflow to be shown to anyone, so I will hide all the overflows that I have. If I have, I do not know if I have or do not, but in precaution, I am hiding it out. So padding Y should be 20, and this padding Y is given for the larger screen, so I think we need more padding. It should be 50. And for the medium screen, our padding Y will be close to 28 pixels or somewhere around that. Yeah, if you think your time is getting wasted, no need, you can go out of the session. Yeah, so medium padding Y will be 28. And now, one more thing that we want is, suppose we have a section, okay? So now I want a separate color over the top and I want a separate color over the bottom and I want transition from top to bottom. So in that case, what we have to do is we have to define a gradient. Okay, we will be defining a gradient for that part. So we will be defining it as background gradient. Now, to where top to bottom, left to right, we have to also define that. So it should be to B. So it means background gradient that will start from top and will go till bottom. So we'll define to and from, like from which color you want the gradient to be, from orange 500 or 400 to blue 500. Okay, we are defining it from orange 500 to blue 500. Now next comes our next div. We'll be defining it up. Okay, I think so. We should fast it up. This is the plain CSS, like normal tailwind CSS that we are working on. So let's move forward fast. Now, class name, water class name we'll be defining here is we'll be giving the margin, container, margin, padding, and then different things. So first define container, and then we'll be giving our margin X. Okay, margin X will be given as auto. If you want, you can give it as your specific in pixelated form, whatever you want. Then padding X we will give in pixels, not auto, because we want as our choice. So padding X will be pixels and then it will be relative again, and the Z index will be defined as 10. Okay. So in header section, we defined our Z index as 50, but over here we have Z index as 10. Okay. Now here comes the main part. We will be defining the motion, or else if we want, we can also have this whole thing without a motion. Okay. Yeah, let's have this as a plane. Let me define it as a normal div. Class name, we are defining the class name. Here we will be having some text and all, so we will define the text color. So text, we want all the text that we are rendering on the screen to be in the center, not right, not left, but on the center. So for that, we will be have text center and maximum width and a mix. So text center, we have maximum width as 3 XL. Okay. After that, we will be having again the margin given as auto. Okay. Yeah. So next thing will be our main div is defined. We want to show the heading in hero section. We want to show the heading. So let's get into that part again. Again, we are working with div. I think we have worked with div mostly. Okay. So that's the main section, main tag that we use. If you want, you can replace many tags with other tags. Like the main first tag that we defined, you can use sections over here or other things. Okay. Yeah. So Over here, we will be giving our text and other things. Again, text center. I know the Tailwind CSS part might get boring. No worries. Just cope up with this. Okay. Text center, and then we are giving our text as 4 XLs. Might be, we might change it up once we see how it looks. Then we will change it up. Okay, no problem. It's better we give it a pixelated size. So in pixels, I want it to be as 30 pixels, and for the medium size window, I want it as to be 25 pixels. Yeah, wait. I am just writing the outer div. Once we write something, some content, you will see the out for sure. Okay. Yeah. So medium is done, and font should be bold, and the text color that I want to show it is gray, around 200, 300, whatever you want to keep it. We are keeping 900, and margin bottom is kept as 6 pixels. Now over here, I will write the main content, that is IPL. So here also we have some changes. That is, half of the text will be shown in different color and half will be shown in different color. So I will 2025 live score. What's happening is score. Yeah. So we want IP 2025 to be of different color and live score is of to be different color. So for that we will be using our span tag. I know you would be knowing what span tag is. I will not get into that. Okay. So span tag inside a div. Again, we will be defining our class name. Class name is equals to, now we will be giving our text orange as 400. So the live score will be having text of orange 400. You can change it as you want. Now we have to show this output. So let's get into the hero section. Import, not hero app.js, hero from. So the hero part is inside the component. Let's copy this routing and we will just change it from header to hero. Okay, so it is hero now. Hero inside this hero. Okay, H should be capital, not small. Inside this, we get a. Let's wait for it to load up. Is there any error that we can see? It's orange, it's fine, it's fine. Have it closed? Have it closed. Yeah, everything is all right. Okay, so we are done with the header part. Next, we have to write a small description. So for that, we'll be using the paragraph tag, and I will go on fast with this. Are we able to see the screen or not? Text center, text gray. Just a minute. That's fine. This is working. Hero. Are we done with the hero? Okay, we are done one thing now. That is this one. So correct it out. We have added double slash. Okay, sometimes you might add double slash or other things. You do not have to do so. Let it load up. Till then, we will be writing our next block of code, that is by using the paragraph tag because we want to add our description. Now, I will be directly writing the CSS code. Okay, I hope so you will get that. That's the short CSS, not much. Okay, so we are just typing text Excel, text gray, and margin bottom as 8. And now we have to write all the description. I will just copy the description because I don't want to waste time in that. Yeah, description is done. Okay, now let's see what is the issue. Why is things not getting rendered? Okay. Was okay. Yeah, guys, everything clear at this point? what we are trying to do, we are just trying to implement the front end part, nothing much. Let's see what is the error that we are getting. Import hero from dot slash components. Components is right, and it should be hero. Hero is also right. Why are we getting a error over here? Absolutely, we should not get an error over here. So the components is right. Inside component folder, we are having the hero. It is also right. Let me write it again. If think so, I made a mistake. Slash components. Can you repeat the last 10 minutes? Last 10 minutes, we just made the UI part. Okay, it was not a hectic thing. Dot slash components. Finally, will differ from already included file name hero.js. Only reason the file is in the program because root file is specified for compilation imported via this for this. If problem, check for the thing. Okay, so the thing is, we defined the first file with small h. That is why it is throwing issue. So let's do one thing. We can get back to the normal naming that we used. That was a small h. Okay. So as we are working in code sandbox, sometimes the cache and the stored file name might have some issue with the new file name that you are giving. So in that case, just okay, I'll just make this also as small h. Yeah, so that's the benefit that you get on a local system. You do not have to worry about this. If you change a file name, the import and export also gets changed. Okay. Yeah, I cannot find the dependency class button.js. What is the dependency that we are talking about? Class values authority. Just give me a moment. What is class variance authority? We have done this, right? It's fine. Start class variant authority. Let's install it up. If yeah, so let's installing. Let's move forward. So we are done with the P paragraph tag, and again we have to add two buttons now. Okay. So before that, we have to resolve this button.js thing. So import button. So button is already imported. Okay. Again, let's define our div. So inside that div, we will be adding both of the buttons. So below this paragraph tag, let's define the div. Not this way, this way. Okay, so you can see it, but we are having a small issue that the color is good, but it's too much. It's too much, so we might need a small lighter color. So instead of background 300, let's go to 200 and 500. Okay, now it looks good. It's better than that. And the size of the description, we added 30 pixels, like we might need it somewhat small, not the description. Yeah. So size of the description I'm talking about, text was extra large. We might need our text to be somewhat between 25 pixels. It might be good. Now it's big. Let's get to 18 pixels. That would be good. Yeah, 18 pixel is better. Okay, so now let's import the button link. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's give the class name. Class name. In this case, we have to define a flex. Why flex? Because we want our two buttons to be side by side. Okay, in a row, not in a column, in a row. So we have to define a flex and flex, flex, wrap, justify center. And once we are justified, we have to give a gap. So gap will be close to 4 pixels. We are given the gap. Now let's define our buttons. So we have already imported our buttons, right? Our buttons are imported. So we will be using those imported buttons. Button. Okay. Yeah. So what's the error that we are running through is we have written class name on one place in the button. There's something that we are missing is dollar class name. So let's get into button and see what is the mistake. Class name, the destroying mistake over here. Just give me a moment and I will resolve it. Button class two, button. Resolve. Okay. Yeah. Let it reload and then we can go back to the hero.js section and start writing the main things that we want in hero.js. First thing that we will be sending it up is variant. Okay, so we already defined our variant. So we will send up the variant that will be primary for the first case. Okay, primary for the first case, and then we will be having our size. Size is given as large. After large again. Okay, button variants is not defined. So we have defined our button variants here, I think so. Okay, the spelling is the case. Okay, no problem. We have made a small spelling mistake in this, and we are good to go, right? Button variants. Yeah, guys, take care of the spelling mistakes. Okay, you also might make this all. So this spelling mistake are not a big mistake, but it might add things to debug. Okay, so and I don't think you want that to happen. Yeah, so we will also add a on click function. Okay, so this on click will navigate you to the next page that you want to go when you click on the button. Okay, so on click and then arrow, and we have already defined our use navigate. So before using use navigate, we have to write the const navigate thing. So let's write it up here before the return. So const navigate is equals to use navigate. Okay, const navigate is equals to use navigation, not navigate, use navigation. Is it fine? Navigation. So there's some mistake. It's not showing up correct. No, 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 no. Yeah. So const navigation or else const navigate is equals to use navigate. So let's get on to this point. And after on click, after defining this, we have to directly navigate it out. So we will be writing navigate and then the route that we want to use for the navigation. So right now I'm just giving it as a home route. I do not want other routes to be kept. Okay. So I will be using the home route at this point. Okay. Is there any other mistake that we are making in? Yeah, we are done with the navigate and inside the button we will be typing. This is right. This is right. This is fine. Everything looks good. So large is fine. Background primary is fine. So in buttons, now let's get to the next line. So button name will be light score. Okay, we are giving light score. What is the problem that we are getting is it's not assigned read only property message to object. Let's grab what is the error on click. I think so. On click is the problem. On click is defined right. We are given the size as LJ. Variant is also fine as primary. On click, let's give it some space. And then navigate is already defined. Yeah, guys, just give me a moment. Use navigate is defined, right? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, okay. Yeah, now I get it. What's the issue? See, we haven't defined the routers yet. Okay, so we haven't defined this route yet. So I don't think so. We should add it right now. Once we are done with the router, we React router thing. In that case, we can do it again. Use navigation methods within a data router. Sure, we are not using the navigation right now. Once we are done with the router, then I will show you this example of React router thing. Yeah. So live score is showing, but there is some issue. That is, we are not getting the background. So the size is given, primary spelling is right. Spelling should also be right because if you make a spelling mistake, in that case also you will not get it up. Okay. Yeah, so let's check the spelling if it is right or not. Before that, we will just copy this button and we'll make small changes and we'll have one more button. Now this button will have a variant of outline. So we also defined the outline. Okay, so this button will be variant of outline, but we are not getting this right. So we'll check it out why we are not getting it. And this will be scheduled. Okay, so button was imported. Yeah, button was imported. It is fine. Let's get into button.js. So variant spelling in hero.section. Let's check the variant spelling. So we have defined variants. Okay, we have defined it as same as we are doing it right here. Okay, that's fine. It's correct. No issue with that. Let's debug it more. What's main issue, guys? What do you think is the error from your side? Like, what error am I making in this case? If anyone can tell me, it's just a small debugging challenge for you. Just a small debugging challenge. What is the error that I am making it up? Guys, anyone? But in the message for which you again not the bootcamp visit, what time should it have? Guys, what I'm asking, reply to that. What is the error? What are things we are making? Why are we not getting this up clearly? Yeah, you will get that in a slot. No issue with that. Guys, fast. We have to move to the next thing. Tell me what's the issue over here. Some tag problem. What tag problem can you define it for? What is the tag problem over here? In line 17, div class name will come. Line number 17, div class. Oh, sir. Okay, you are talking about this class name. Okay, let's do this class name. No problem with that. We did the class name. Again, we are getting the same thing. Class name. Do you think the class name was the issue? Okay. Yeah. Tell me what's the issue. Okay. Just take it as a challenge. It's for you. Okay. Tell me what's the issue. I am not going to rectify it up. Even I will give you the code. Okay. Until unless you tell me what's the issue, I'm not going to rectify it up. Okay. I want you to debug it and tell me. For like till then, we will move forward. Just a small task to tell me what's the error over here, or else if we made some error in button.js. Once I will share you the code, go through it. Next session, when we start, we'll start with this point. Okay. Till then, let's make the next part. Okay, let's go to the next part. Yeah, so with this part also we have to add one or two more main thing is over here we want to add a small rectangular shape body, and over here we want to add a circle shape like a ball over here and a bat over here. So let's add that too. Okay, so get out of all the div tags and we will go to the last div tag. Inside this, we will be writing pat. So this will show you the pat part. Okay. Okay. So this will be a plain CSS part, nothing much. We'll be having div. Yeah, some tag problem. I know some tag problem. What tag problem? Just come clear with that. Okay, what tag problem do we have with this name? Take their name. Okay, we are giving the name. Did I write the spelling wrong? No, let's check. Okay, so now we have to give the shape, size, and everything. So absolute, you, it should be absolute, and from top it will have 20. So we are not sticking it up at the top. We want some space from the top. That's why we are having a space right from right. We will be have some 10% of spacing. So right 10%. Then we will be giving width as 16 pixels and height also as 16 pixels. Okay. So whatever body we are making, it will be at the right top corner. Okay. By seeing the property, you would have understood. Top 20 means it will be at top, just 20 space, and right 10 will it will be at the right with a 10% of space. So it is at the top right corner of the screen. So once we are done, I will show you the output of that. So height is given, width is given 16 pixel, and we want it as a rounded full. Once we have it as a rounded full, we will be giving it as a background. So background will be close to that 600. If you want more data, you can have 800 or 700 of the background. Okay. Yeah. So right, that's hidden. It is not going to be hidden in other size windows, but in the small size windows, it might get hidden. Okay, and medium block. Medium is given as block. Okay, so this will be shown on a larger size window. Let me see if it can go more further. No, I have to open it on a different screen. Okay, just give me a moment till it gets load on the Opal's bigger screen. Till then, we will be writing the code for the bat. Okay, we also want a cricket bat. Now, this cricket bat part will be on close to top right corner. Okay, to close to top right. Just a second. Yeah. So let's begin with the cricket bat. One thing, just rectify this. It will be like this, and this div will also be like this. Okay. So let's begin with the cricket bat thing. We will be having class name is equals to, and again it will be absolute, not a relative or anything. Absolute, did we close the inverted commas? Yeah, we are closed with inverted commas. No need to worry about that. Yeah, so absolute, and now we want it at the bottom, not at the top, bottom left corner. Again, we will be adding some property of left. It will be 5%. Left will be given as 5%. Okay. And width will be given as 8 pixels, 8 pixelated of width. Once we are done with the width, we are giving height as 64 pixels. Okay, 64 pixels is done. Then again, in this case, we'll be giving background gradient. Now, background gradient from which point to which point? Again, we want it from the top to bottom. Okay, so background gradient is done. Now we have to define the colors. Okay, so which colors you want for the gradient? So we will be using amber. So from amber 900. So to amber 700. So we want it to go from amber 900 to 700. You can see over here that pat is coming off. Okay. If we remove this block, I think so you could also see the ball. Yeah. You can see on the small size window too, the ball is over there. So background, so sorry, the color is given as amber. Now I want rounded P large because I want to give a background. rounded, the large. Okay, again, should I hide it or not? I have to decide. So I don't want it to be hidden in the small size window. So I will not hide it up. So the hidden side, I have to move it. That's right. Okay, now you can see it's not a perfect bat. We do not have the handle to catch it up, but you can see a kind of bat and kind of ball over here. Okay, if you want its height to be more, you can add it up. It's upon you, however you want it to be looked. Okay, yeah. So with this, the hero section is done, but with a small thing, small task for you to debug this up. Okay, I am leaving this part for you to debug intentionally as an exercise for you. Debug it up, check both for bottom.js file and hero.js and tell me what is the issue. Why are we not getting our button rendered nicely as we want it? Okay, I will tell you how we want this button to be look like. Okay, I will share the screenshot of that in the notes. Let me add that up quickly. Okay, so yeah, so live score button should be like this. Okay, and your next button schedule should be somewhat like this. Okay, just move it. Sorry, we want to be at the bottom, not at top. Yeah. So these are two buttons. I think you can see it up. So live score should be like this, and schedule should be like this. Okay. Okay. Will you be able to do this or not? Just respond yes, no. Okay. Like being able to do is the second thing. The first thing is trying to do. Okay. I want you to try this part. If you are able to do, not able to do, it's the secondary thing. I will tell you the solution for sure. We will discuss that solution in tomorrow's lecture for sure. But I want you to work on this. Will you be? Yes, no, yes? Great, great. That's what I want from your side. Okay. Yeah. So with this, our hero section is done. Great. We are done with the heroes UI. This was also a UI part. Button was also a UI part. Now we will in short interval of time, we will work on the router thing. Okay, I will explain you how to create router and then we will close the session. Okay, the router thing will be done. So after the router thing is done, tomorrow we will start with the API integration. Okay, that is the most interesting part that we are waiting for. Okay, so let's begin with the router. So before router, let me create one more folder named as page. So inside source, we will create a folder name as page. Inside page, we will write home page dot JSX. Okay. Once it is made, export default function home page. Okay, return, and we are returning it up, and we will give it a div. We are given a div. Now import those two components that we made, that is header as well as the hero section. Okay, so let's import that up. Import header from. Now the page should get inside the component. The page should get inside the component. Component spelling is right. Components, right? And it will be header. And then import hero. Yeah, I will surely solve this problem tomorrow. It's not I gave you a challenge and I left you in the middle. I will solve this tomorrow. In front of you, I will solve this component slash we want hero to be rendered. Okay, so now I want to show this all thing by using our router, not by directly using our app.js code. Okay, we are done with this. We might need some styling for the homepage. Yeah, so One more thing that we need is we want to give a small background. So we will give that background once we are done with more number of components. Till then, we will give the size of the window, size of the window. Okay. So class name will be our minimum height should be screen, not below that. Components. It's right now. Yeah. So minimum height screen will be given, and inside that we will be importing these two sizes. Now let's get into the app.js. Before getting into the app.js, we have to make small changes. Remove this part from here. We do not need this. And get into index.js. We wrote a browser router yesterday in last session. Remove this browser router and get back to the strict mode. Why we are doing this? Because we are going to define a router in app.js. And if we have defined router in two places, in app.js and index.js, in that case, we will have an error being thrown. And we do not want that error to be thrown. So that is why we are removing this browser router from here, and we are using strict mode over here. Okay. Now get into app.js. From here, the main task starts. Okay. We will be importing our router, routes, and route. Three things: router, routes, and route. Import. Now we will not be actually writing is import browser router. We use browser router in base.index.js. Now we are doing that up from as not from as router routes and route. Okay. From where are we importing this all three things? From React router to React router, not Raptor router, and no. Okay, so we'll be importing this up from React router to. We can remove this browser router thing from our index.js. We do not need it anymore. Okay, we are done till this point. Now we will be defining our first router. So inside this return, let's remove this div totally. Inside this, we are making our return, and inside the return, we will be defining our router. First thing, a router. Open the router, close the router. Now, whatever we will be importing it will be in the form of this. So we defined our header here. We can remove this header from here. We will directly use the header in app.js. Inside router, let's make it as header. Okay. Once the header is defined, now comes our next thing. Okay. So again, we'll define a div because we want to show a full screen. So we might need to show the window size. Okay. Class name, not any name, class name. Now, what will be it? Yeah, strict mode. We got back to the strict mode in index.js. We remove the browser router over there. Okay. We are defining flex column, and the minimum height should be screen. Inside this, we will be defining our routes now. Okay. So now we will be defining our routes tag, and then again routes tag. Okay. So this definition of routes and all, you have to do this all in your React.js itself. For other things like Next.js, if you're using Next, in that case, you will not need this. Next comes with predefined routings. Okay. So we wrote the route, and we are have to write the router. Router. routes, and route. Now we have to define the path on what path we will be working with. Okay, we gave the path that is just slash. We can remove the curly braces that will work without the curly braces. And we need to write the element. So before writing this element part, we have to import the home page. Import home page from where is the home page? Home page is inside the page folder. Page slash home page. Okay, we're done. Element. So inside element, we will directly have our home page. Home page, and we are rendering it up inside our element section. Yeah, then with this part, path is right, everything is right. Now let's see what is the error that we are getting. Cannot assign to read only property message to object, expect corresponding JSX. What is the error? We defined the router part, right? It was right. We defined the routes part, right? It's correct. We defined header, it was right. No errors thrown. Routes was also right. The path is also given as right. No issue with that. We reported it right. Yeah, report is also right. Let's see if there is any error in the home page. There was one, but it's resolved. Home page is right. What's the error over here? Let's do it capital. It's capital H. We do not need the header over here. We can remove the header from here. We can save it up. It's fine. We have strict word spelling wrong. STRICT. Okay, you were trying to tell me that I have misspelled it up. Okay. Okay, in that case, just do not write strict, write whole thing that you are trying to tell. Let's refresh it up and go to app.js. We still have an error. So let's browse what's the error that we are making up. So the import statement, let's start with the import statement. Import statement is correct. Import browser router as router routes and route from React router DOM. It's right. Export default function app. It is also right. We are using inside a return. It's also right. It's not an error. It's correct. Then next thing that we have is we are defining a router. Inside a router, we are defining a header. Header is perfect. Header is not an issue. We do not need the hero. We remove this from here. Route not closed. Okay. Yeah. Great. 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 Thanks for the help. Yeah. You see, you make this all small mistakes, but this all small mistakes take much of your time. Only thing that I missed was a slash, but I was searching for a big mistake. Okay. So do not always try for the big mistakes. Do not always search for the big mistake. Sometimes you make those small mistake also. Now, import hero from component. Import hero from component. Did we spell the component right? Okay. There's one mistake. Just we have to go one back and one more back. Just give me a moment. Will work fine. We are going one folder back and then we are going inside components and then here. Okay, now it will work fine. It's great. Yeah, you can see it's working fine. So what we did is we exactly created the route for slash. Okay, so we created the route for slash. What we did, we created a special homepage file. Now, whatever components we will be creating in homepage, we'll be adding up in this page, not directly to the app.js, to this page. By using the slash routing, we will be implementing or else we'll be fetching this up inside the app.js. Okay, great. Uh, yeah, everyone got a point of it. Everyone understood what we were trying to do. Yes, no, got it. Yes, everyone. How was the session? Great. You got the point of everything that you wanted to understand. Everything is great, right? Okay, got it. Great. If you are talking about sharing of a project, I think you can share a GitHub link of the code, or else you can share the deployment link. It will be much better. More things will be informed to you. Okay. Okay. Any doubts to this point, guys? Any doubts? Any problems? Okay. Once again, let's get back to what we did. Okay. We completed the header part. We went into the hero section where we created the button section. Okay. And then we completed the heroes UI. In button section, I gave you one small work that you have to do. Okay. Just find the what was the error. You have the code sandbox link I have shared. I think so. You got it. If you not, you will get it today. And in that, find the error. And after we were done with that, we did the routing work. Okay, we created the routing. How routing functionality works actually. So see, normally what you have is, you can see on my screen, you have this thing, right? Whatever the link you have. So normally it is at this slash routing. Okay. Now what happens is, you might not have just single page, you will be having multiple pages. Okay. So for multiple pages, what we'll have is, you will have slash some route name is test. You will be having some test place. Okay. So in that case, you need this routings. Okay. How will this work? Simple. Every time you come here, what you do is, let me do one thing. I will define slash test also on the same page. On the same page, I'm trying to define slash test. Okay, so now let me render this slash test. So it should automatically render the home page itself. Why? Because in elements we have kept home page, so it will not render any different page. Okay, just wait a minute. For us, I will show you here itself. It will work faster over here. Yes. Yeah, it came over here. You can see that what we are saying is, we are seeing this testing. Now, one more thing, on the larger size window, what's happening is, we are having this icon as a small. So for that too, we will work on that. Once we are done with all things, small changes we will be doing. So we have to increase the text size itself for the larger size window. So it will not be a great thing. See, I would recommend you to use a Tailwind CSS. It is much more better, easier to implement. Okay, the normal CSS is hard to manage. The Tailwind CSS will be much more better. Okay, use the Tailwind, or else if you want Bootstrap, also you can use. Class-based styling is much more easier than normal styling. Based upon my experience that I have been doing since 2 years, class-based styling is much more easier than the normal-based styling, because in normal-based styling you have to define the class name. Might need to have a separate CSS file, and then you have to do many things at a time. So better stick to the class-based styling. Okay. Okay, guys. With this, I will end the stream right now. I hope so you enjoyed this class. You enjoyed this session. We'll meet you again tomorrow at the same time at 7 o'clock. Be ready to wind up this all bootcamp session. Tomorrow we'll be completing the API implementation. With the API implementation and the footer, we will be done with this part, this page work. Okay. Tailwind, sure. In future, we can have one session on Tailwind. I can explain you all different classes on Tailwind. After this bootcamp, we can plan this up. Surely, we'll have to think about that. Okay. What is deadline for the project? I'm not clear about the deadline, Govardhan. Let me get to know about that and I will share you. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, then have a nice night ahead. Okay. Bye bye. Limit for hit API. Yeah, always APIs, free APIs will have a limit based upon what API you subscribe to or you take it. Do not spend money on the API. Always try to use free API for studying. Okay, we are not going to spend any money for API buying or purchasing API. Okay, I'm not posting it on GitHub, but I will share you the code sandbox link. You are getting that. You can get it updated code from there. Okay. Okay, then we'll end this session here. Have a great night ahead. Have a great learning night ahead. Bye bye. Thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow. Bye.